come? Sorry, trying to catch my breath. Okay. We ready, Maria?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Oh, we're on?
Oh, you're on.
All right. Always start off with a little humor, right?
Yes.
All right. How many did you catch? See all the people walking around with their devices, falling into the holes. I'm bored. Want to go down to the mall and bump into people's ankles with our scooters? None of you are like this. Golden years my foot. My hair has turned to silver and your ass has turned to lead. These are sent in by residents, right? So how's the memory holding up? I haven't had to do that yet. A sunburn is nature's way of reminding you you're made out of meat. Might be some truth to that. When you hear your sunscreen sizzle, people, that means it's time to go inside. Might be a little too late at that point. Don't worry about getting older, you're still going to do dumb stuff, only slower. That's a true statement. That's a true statement. You know you're starting to get up there in years when you have to use a shopping cart at the pharmacy. I have experienced that. Remember the 20 extra years you added to your life through clean, healthy living? Well, these are them. I was unfaithful to you once with some redhead in the men's room of a pool hall in 1971. I was drunk. That was me. I could be a healthy person if you'd stop finding things wrong with me. I have been there. Age 20, we worry about what others think of us. At age 40, we don't care what you think of us. At age 60, we discover they haven't been thinking of us at all. Dan Landers. Have you seen our robot vacuum anywhere? No, I haven't seen it for days. Maybe it ran away from home. Apparently, it's now an Uber for the cat. I think I might have left my glasses in that chair. Would you like me to get up so you can look? No, don't bother. If they are down there, they're goners anyway. Now I'm not going to tell him they're on top of his head. All right, I promised to show you some pictures of Isabella at the national championship. She did get a gold award. Isabella up there in the corner. Her best event was the uneven bars, and you can see her being celebrated at the end of the season there. And some pictures of her at the walk a few years ago. So, well, a long time ago, right? Sitting on the fountain there, and then Mrs. Wright and the leeches and that, yeah, she has a Westminster logo on her cheek there. I did not ask her to do that. She did that on her own. We had a face painter, and she's, oh, let's get the Westminster logo on my face. I'm like, okay. Anyway, how many of you believe I have 8 grandchildren?
Amazing.
I have 8 grandchildren. Almost a baseball team. I'm one short. I told Isabella to wait till she's 30 or so, though. We don't need any more racing. So. Anyway, they're cute, aren't they? Yeah, good kids. All right, now to get serious. So, some people ask me why we fundraise for Alzheimer's Texas. And we're going to see if this lets me do it.
My wife is a very talented musician. She's an organist, a pianist, church organist for 20 years. Organ in our church is actually named for her and dedicated. We had a huge celebration. And she was there on the top of the world. And then 1 month later, Alzheimer's hit like a tsunami. It just knocked the props out of us. She says, "Who are you? What are you doing here? You're not my husband."
Is it on
Excuse
the other
my
screen?
language, but it scares the hell out of you. And I would wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning, isolated, alone.
Let's try this again, sorry about that.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Let's try it like this. Now?
Yeah.
Can you all see it on the side screens as well? Okay, sorry about that.
My wife is a very talented musician. She's an organist, a pianist, church organist for 20 years. Organ in our church is actually named for her and dedicated. We had a huge celebration. And she was there on the top of the world. And then 1 month later, Alzheimer's hit like a tsunami. It just knocked the props out of us. She says, "Who are you? What are you doing here? You're not my husband." Excuse my language, but it scares the hell out of you. And I would wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning, isolated, alone, miserable.
We all see what Alzheimer's does to families and loved ones. One of our operating tenets is to care about the world and make a positive impact on it in every way possible. It's fundraising together for Alzheimer's Texas really started off back 17 years ago with $2,400, and it's just grown dramatically since then.
It really hit jet propulsion when Chuck came here to manage. He took us to a new level as far as expecting more of us as an organization and really encouraging his staff and his residents to jump in to the deep end to try to do everything they absolutely could for Alzheimer's research, neurological research, and Alzheimer's care and support.
Last year, we had our goal at $60,000, and we surpassed that.
The 2 million mark of the support for Alzheimer's Texas from Westminster is beyond unusual. It's a supersonic level of commitment and giving and demonstration of community support. I call it friend-raising and fundraising. Westminster is a joy to work with. These are wonderful, committed people. On top of everything else, they make it a lot of fun around here.
We have great events like the Westminster Dog Show, the kickoff party, the silent auction. We even did a car wash last year several times, which the residents loved.
We did karaoke nights, which was a big hit. Did a little mini walk just around the courtyard for those who wanted to participate.
Everybody gets behind it, the residents and associates alike.
It's one big family, and I think that's what really sets us apart.
I'm living in a community that takes care of a lot of Alzheimer's. It just really was such an inspiration to all of us that raising money for Alzheimer's has been a major priority of Westminster as a nonprofit, but then our resident association has participated in events.
We really believe that because of the support of Chuck and the whole Westminster team, research that's being done by brilliant Texas researchers at our fabulous medical schools, we really think that plateau, if not cure, is on the horizon.
So, it's my pleasure to introduce Jordan Bleeker, our chair of Alzheimer's fundraising this year. Jordan?
Hello, everyone. Thanks so much for having me. I am co-chairing the 2025 Alzheimer's Fundraising Committee with our HR specialist, Wendy Gordon. And we have selected our resident representative for 2025 as Ms. Barbara Carlson, and she's going to come up here and say a couple of things.
all hear me okay? No?
No.
Now? I have to hold it. Is this better? Good, okay. Well, thank you for letting me speak today. My goal really is to point out how important our participation is. Westminster provides these activities for us, and for us to go and participate makes all the difference in the world. So bear with me as I sort of point out how this all works. When I first learned that Westminster residents and Westminster raised money for Alzheimer's, I was very impressed, and that it started years and years ago. I think Chuck has said a lot of this, so I'm going to be repetitive up here. When I learned that, my husband, Jerry, is that better? My husband, Jerry, had just been diagnosed with Parkinson's dementia, and we were discussing our next step for him. It was hard. We didn't know how we could manage it without Westminster. But I was pleased to see our dollars also supported, on the dollars we gave, also supported neurological research with the money we gave to Alzheimer's. As the slide shows, I think we've already raised $22,809.68. So it's a good start, but we still have a lot of work to do. So I'm going to move through a lot of this because what I want to point out to you is how our participation really works. Westminster's role is to raise this contribution, in raising this contribution money, is to sponsor events for us. And it's our job to go and enjoy it. Like the P. Terry's Ford truck, to go enjoy our food. We give money that will be given to the Alzheimer's Association because Chuck's done his part and we're doing ours, or going there and enjoying it. Our contribution is also made by going to karaoke. We sing along with some of our favorite tunes, or perhaps pay Dontel and Steve to do it, which is much more pleasant. That money goes into the hands of Alzheimer's Texas, and it makes my heart sing, pun intended, to know while I'm enjoying this beautiful music, in some small way, the well-being of families that are struggling with Alzheimer's are getting some support. And yet to come this fall, we have two other fundraising events that are very important for us to participate in. One is the Westminster Dog Show and our annual silent auction. Both are much fun. All those dollars will also go to Alzheimer's Texas. We hope you will get involved. Perhaps enter your dog in the dog show. Some serious purchases at the silent auction. These are all fun events, and I hope you will take time to go and help support this money that we give to Alzheimer's Texas. To know the money that I just spent is also going to serve some family who is struggling with Alzheimer's. Lastly, you can always go to the little store and purchase the shirt that I have on, or caps. And you can also write a check. That's always easy to write a check. And make it out to Alzheimer's Texas, and you can drop it off at any of the Westminster desks. Made out to Alzheimer's Texas. So that's really my point in helping you understand the importance of you accepting all of those, enjoying all of those events that Westminster is providing for us. And it is our job to go and enjoy it and also to help raise the money. And just in closing, I want to take a moment to honor all of the caregivers, the memory caregivers, the skilled nursing, and all the people that take care of the people here that we have. Jerry was one of those, and I will be forever grateful for the great care they gave him. So thank you for listening, and I hope we'll see you at those events. And I also want to thank Chuck for working with us to keep Westminster a kind and loving place that we can call home and be proud of it.
So great start to a great fundraising season for Alzheimer's. You know, I'm really proud of Alzheimer's Texas and the fact that they keep all of the funds that they raise here in Texas, and that they're actually doing research to learn about Alzheimer's, and there have been actually some great advances over the last few years with regard to testing for Alzheimer's and slowing down the progression of Alzheimer's, and a lot of the money for that research has come from Westminster. So you all have had a great impact on that research, and so I ask you to continue to support us, and I appreciate all of you that have supported us so far. So thank you all very much. Thank you, Jordan. Mrs. Carlson, great job. It's not easy to get up in front of this crew, is it? No. You did a great job. You did a great job. So, questions and answers. And Jordan, if you don't want to stay for this, you don't have to, but yeah. This is the best part. So at a recent Chuck Chat, you were asked whether additional storage lockers could be provided to Preston residents as part of this Phase 4 construction. You said you would check into it. What have you found? So, though we do not currently have plans to add storage lockers in the design for our completion phase, Phase 4, we will look for an opportunity to create additional lockers in the Preston once we move the amenities and offices out of the ground floor. So we're gonna look for a space to add some additional lockers. I do know that there's a desire for more storage lockers. Even at my house, there's a desire for more storage space. I have tried to spread the word at home that if we haven't used it in 6 months, if it's not a holiday decoration, we should really get rid of it. But I'm losing that battle at home too. So we will try to get some storage lockers in the ground floor. Question, residents are very frustrated and inconvenienced with the constant elevator failures. Have you reached a decision regarding servicing of the elevators? If so, what will be the solution? We have 16 elevators on the campus. I don't think there'll be a week that goes by that one of those elevators does not break down. Or more, yeah. I don't know what to tell you. You know, we've done a lot of work on the elevators, we modernized the elevators work worse after we modernized them than they did before. We're using TKE, we are working well with them, they're responding well, but elevators continue to break down. We are paying and continue to pay for preventive maintenance to keep elevators from breaking down, clearly not being successful there. We have contacted other service providers for elevator maintenance and received proposals and bids. They're no better than what we have. There's delays in getting parts for everyone. Brand new buildings with brand new elevators are breaking down. Case in point, across the street. Our Carlisle building elevators, they break down. And they're new. We're not buying used elevators. We're not buying used parts. We're buying new stuff. So I clearly believe that we need to do something different. So I contacted an elevator consultant. And they're going to come in and independently review all of our elevators, our preventive maintenance contracts, conditions, and any needs, and create a quality improvement action plan. And so whatever they discover in that action plan, that assessment, we will address, and we will address immediately. I don't know what that's going to be. I know that they have good references. I checked them out. They've been successful at other locations in managing elevators, so I'm hoping that this will be our solution. So patience as I continue to work through that, but I'm not ignoring the issue. that old saying, if you keep doing the same thing, you get the same results. So we are changing it up, trying to get a better result. Question. Thank you for the upcoming timetable. So the timetable that I'm sending out with the construction, yeah, there are a couple of items I don't understand. Lobby, courtyard, made safe, demo phase 1B, and cap CWLs, and a couple of others. How long do you anticipate the excavation of the Preston courtyard to take? So, courtyard lobby made safe refers to construction barriers being installed to protect people and property, right? Capping CWLs refers to capping of the chilled water lines for the air conditioning system in the Preston. If we didn't cap the chilled water lines, then they would flood the ground floor where we're doing the construction work. And remember, part of the project is that we're upgrading the air conditioning and heating systems in the Laurel dining room as well as the lobby. So we're not going to be using the chilled water lines in those areas. We're going to use the variable refrigerant flow system, which is a new air conditioning type system. So we have to cap those water lines to keep them from leaking into the building. How long do you anticipate the excavation of the Preston courtyard to take? I think that it's going to take about 6 months. I don't know that it's going to take only 6 months. There may be some outstanding items that take a little longer than 6 months, but over the next 3 months, we're gonna really tear up the Preston courtyard. It's gonna look terrible, okay? We're ripping out plants this week. Some of our staff are gonna repurpose some of the plants. But we're gonna dig ditches and holes, and we're water excavating, and we're gonna make a mess. It's just gonna be a muddy, nasty mess. And you kind of have to make a mess when you do construction. Demolition is the worst part, right? It's noisy. You know, you're gonna have equipment in there, so it's really not safe for you to walk through it. And we'll make a mess, and then we'll, lay the plumbing and the stormwater drains and all of that down, and then we'll start to put it back together again. And it will take time, but at least 6 months. So just to go over this just a little bit, and these, as much as possible, I'm trying to give you a look ahead just to keep you updated. I did this during the Carlisle, it worked pretty well. Most of the items are pretty self-explanatory if you know what the Preston building is, and you know that the work that is being done is in the A wing, right, of the Preston right now. It is that new multi-purpose space that's going to be constructed, and the dining room, the Laurel dining room. That's the focus right now, and then you have the Preston courtyard as well. But if you have any questions, shoot me an email and I'll explain it as best I can. Most of the terms are layman's terms. Install temp walls at curtain wall demo. So what's the curtain wall? The exterior wall, right? So we took down the exterior wall and we built a temporary construction wall to keep critters from getting in the building, right? And leather. And so that's that. Pre-construction meeting, right? Site utility survey, camera sewer lines. Yes, we're running a camera through the sewer lines to determine where they lead and what they're doing. Does it make a 90-degree turn here? Because it doesn't show that on the plans. A couple times we've been, we're doing a discovery process. So you have these paper plans that were from 1965, and not everything is where it's supposed to be. And so you discover this, and you have to water excavate to find out, or you have to camera to determine which way does this go, so we know we're not tearing it up, and we're working around it. So it's complicated. Anytime you touch a structure as mature as the Preston is, you discover things that you didn't think you would. So I'm going to show you some pictures next time. But while we're doing demo, while we're doing demo of the Laurel, preparing for bringing those apartments into the Laurel that were in A wing. We discovered a glass wall that runs the length of the building, right? Just like the glass walls, the walls that you have in the residence apartments. And that used to be, in 1967, that was the edge of the building, the north edge of the building. And that was actually a living room at the time. And so it was inside the sheetrock walls of the dining room, and we didn't know that they were there. We thought maybe they were there because the thickness of the wall, it had to be covering something. It wasn't just a 2x4, right? And so we found that. We also found parts of an exterior concrete fire stairwell covered up in the wall. And so that stuff, are we demoing it? Are we working around it? Are we building a column there? All of that stuff is what we're going through right now. And some of it's gonna add a little bit of time to the construction. But it's very interesting to see some of the stuff that you didn't expect to see. Anyway, we're working on all of that. And right now it's in big time discovery phase. But I'll try to send these out about every 2 weeks to kind of keep you moving ahead so you have an outlook of what's coming. And then if you have any questions, just shoot me an email or send an email to reception and we'll get you an answer, okay? And if you don't care, you don't have to read it. That's fine. Some of you might, how many of you feel like, I'm just gonna go there when it's done, and until it's done, exactly, there's some of that. But for those of you that want to know, there's also a construction camera on it. There's not much to see right now, but once they start tearing up that courtyard, it'll be like watching a little ant house, because you'll be able to see like a human aquarium. And then we're going to add another construction camera about 3 months from now, where we start to build the connecting halls and all of that, and the conservatory and the theater and all of this stuff. And you'll be able to see it, and you'll be able to watch 2 cameras at the same time if you want. It's going to be fascinating. And some of you won't care about that either, and that's okay. Okay. I care about it. That's the important thing. Question, can we restart the bus trips to the UT women's basketball games? How many of you are interested in going to the women's basketball games via the bus? Raise your hand high like you mean it. Oh, that's more than 10. Okay. If there are enough residents interested in this transportation, don't raise your hand twice. That's all that doesn't work. In this transportation service, we can start back up for weeknight games, okay? We need at least 10 residents to take this regularly, or it's not worth it, okay? A lot of folks lost interest, so that's kind of why we stopped it. Ruth will post an announcement on the portal. Please reach out to her directly if you're interested in this, okay? So it sounds like a great time. I would go with you. My wife didn't have a honey-do list for me. I shouldn't have recorded that. And she might see this. Can you tell us again about the available pet services? Okay, laundry services are available for $15 a load. That's a great deal. So they'll pick up your pet laundry and launder it for you. There are also machines dedicated to pet laundry for resident use located in our commercial laundry. So the associates, the staff will be there to assist you. If you're interested in either of those services, reach out to Stephanie Garza for assistance. She's the Environmental Services Director. You can reach her through where? Reception. Okay. We have also partnered with a mobile pet groomer. And let's see, it is Alamo Pet Spa. And the only reason we partnered with them is because I use them myself at my house up north of Georgetown. And he'll come all the way to Austin, he and she, I believe. It's reasonably priced. I think a couple residents used their service already, maybe earlier this week or last week. And the dogs are alive and they're doing well and they look great. And I think he did a good job, my understanding. And if you have interest in that, just reach out to Heather Crawl, and you can do that through the reception desk, right? Yes. Updates, Carlisle hot water. We did the water shutoff. We installed All of the balancing valves, new balancing valves in the system, and all the corrections to the original install have been completed today, by the end of the day. We will have a professional balancing team to come to balance the entire building with the new design. Hopefully this has solved all the hot water problems. We'll be doing water temperature checks over the next couple days. We'll be fine tuning the system, but hopefully this will solve it. The engineers seem to think so. Ground floor Preston, restrooms by the kitchen. This is back of the house area. We've completed renovation of the ladies' room and the men's room is underway. We have ordered our new wheelchair bus for the healthcare center bus to be replaced. We hope to have it by the end of July. You may have heard me talk about that when I did my budget presentation in December. We also have a new shuttle bus, a passenger bus, to replace the small bus that no one liked. You liked it initially, but after it was delivered, you didn't like it, so I'm sending it back and they're giving us a full credit. Did anybody sit in the new? Okay, she sat in the new bus and she didn't like it either, yeah. It was a new type of bus where basically you sat around the perimeter and stared at each other while you were driving along. Nobody liked it. I think that some of the airports have them. Yeah. Nobody liked it. So we're getting a full credit. We've ordered a new bus. It should be here at the end of July. And it's just like our normal buses, okay? Preston Boiler Project has been completed. The solar project, the Carlisle corrections were made. Now it's pending Austin Energy inspection. Preston Air Conditioning Plumbing Replacement Project. So we built the mains for the system. They've been pressure tested. They passed. They failed their pressure test the first time. They passed it this week. And then we will have information on July the 9th at 2 p.m. We'll meet here for Preston Sea Wing residents. So we'll talk about how we're going to actually tap into your apartments and connect to your fan coil units over the next several weeks, starting in July. The good news is that nobody will lose their air conditioning for more than 4 hours at a time. Each apartment will connect and it'll take about between 2 and 4 hours and the work will be done and then their air conditioning will work immediately. We've installed enough isolation valves and everything that we can isolate each individual apartment, so that's good news.
Now, let me call you.
We've got elevators we talked about. Anybody want to talk about them again? Okay. Consultant has been engaged. Preston Sprinkler Project, it's in the design phase. I am going to need to create a plan for the Preston balconies. As part of the sprinkler system project, we'll be exploring solutions to remove the wood partitions from the balconies. I'll need to either come up with a new solution to separate them, which will be metal, so it won't catch on fire, or we don't replace them at all. So I'm putting together a focus group of residents to talk through the different solutions. You know, there's several solutions. One would be to do a full divider just like we have now, which will be made out of metal instead of wood. The reason I'm trying to do this is so I don't have to sprinkle each balcony and run pipes up the side of the building. That's gonna be pretty ugly, right? Yeah. Another solution could be that we split the balcony at a half height, so a half wall. Maybe it makes it feel more open, or maybe you don't want them replaced at all. Maybe you'd just rather not have a divider because you get along well with your neighbor. Probably not. So we're gonna talk through the options and then I will choose from there based on your feedback. We're gonna have a fall prevention week, 22nd through the 26th. This is something Robin's putting on. There'll be fall prevention bingo, presentations, exercise, games, workshops, screenings, free screenings, safety tips. Westminster Select Rehab, Halcyon, and exercise instructors will all be working on your fall prevention during that time. I'll advertise this a couple of times. We want to keep you from falling if we can. Who likes to fall? Nobody? Why not? Because it hurts. Doesn't matter how far you fall, it hurts, right? 6 inches is fall. Okay, final phase. I said I would talk about this, phase 4, what it's bringing. Everybody knows how upset I am that we're now, we're in June and we just got started. I wanted to start when? April. I love you all. You really do pay attention. Project is planned for 18 months. The Laurel dining room and multi-purpose space in Ruth's office will be completed first, and we hope to have that done in 9 months. Woohoo! I've talked about the 5-week look ahead. This is kind of what we're doing. So right now, because you can't see when I point to it with my little clicker. Right now, we are working on this area right here. This is A wing. Remember there was a corridor that ran through here? It's no longer there. Those apartments are gone. The wall that we found is located right here, the glass wall. So we're working on this whole area right now is just an empty shell from here all the way this way. It's just an empty shell. Everything's been demoed. The public restrooms are gone, the private dining room's gone, everything all the way to the slab. So this is what's being built first. We're going to build a corridor that wraps around the dining room. That'll come out into the courtyard a little bit, replacing the sunroom right now. And then it'll have a corridor that runs the length of the building outside of the spaces. The new multi-purpose space is here, the activities kitchen, Ruth's office and storage, and then new public restrooms. And then once this is all complete, which is in 9 months, then we'll do work on the other half of the lobby. This is what the dining room should look like if you're walking from the lobby into the new Laurel dining room. This is the cocktail lounge, the bar area. This is the dining room. So the dining room will be around the corner. So as you walk down the corridor, you can see the corridor has all these windows, and then the corridor runs outside of these screens and the arches. And so people won't be walking through the dining room with carts and junk and interrupting everybody's dinner service, right? Or lunch service. Everybody's outside of it. Still a lot of natural light. Going to be a great space. So this is a view from east, looking at the new courtyard, right? The new coffee shop area that's going to be added. This is being built where that current parking garage, the visitor parking garage is. It takes out about 17 spaces, but we get 17 spaces back at the end of the job on the back side. This coffee shop will have what's called nano walls, so they can open up. When we do a big event like our P. Terry's kickoff party, we can open up these doors, these walls, and just have a really great event. It also have a capability of bringing in a food truck. Now, I don't expect to do it all the time, but like if we want to have P. Terry's in, the water will be there, the electric will be there. We can do that kind of stuff once in a while. So the conservatory is one of those things that gets added in the Preston courtyard. This also will have that nano walls concept. So the conservatory is 2 stories tall. It'll have live trees and plants in it. It will also open up to the courtyard. It'll have some great outdoor seating. This will be, you know where that ugly wall is with the exhaust fan that sticks out for the elevators? That's where that goes. The reason that we're cameraing the sewer line is because the pit for that sewer, nobody wants to hear about this, but it's interesting to me. And it's at the very corner of where that column's supposed to go. So there's a little conflict there we have to figure out, because you need to have a sewer pit because you flush your toilets, and it has to go somewhere. We don't want it to go into the conservatory. That'd be bad. So So anyway, we're working on that. We're gonna figure that out. We know that first, second, and third floor are gonna be connected, A and B wing. That picks up, so on the first floor, it's that ugly unconditioned walkway that goes right beside Harris Bell Hall's really hot elevator because it's not conditioned space. That elevator is not conditioned. Once this is conditioned space, the elevator will be conditioned. I know, right? Which maybe will keep it from breaking down as much because it won't have all that humidity and everything in the mechanical room. And then on the second floor, it opens up where the art hall is now. That will open up and you'll have a view into the conservatory. So it kind of brings it all together. Does that make sense? And then on top of it, outside of Harris Bell Hall, which is on the other side of this glass wall, there's gonna be a really great deck out there that we'll probably only use 1 month a year, but it's gonna be, maybe there's some outdoor planting areas there, raised planter beds that you can use if you live in the Preston, and even if you live in the Windsor and Carlisle, if you wanna use them, you can come over. But some really cool outdoor areas. And then this is the west side, which is it's kind of been a pass-through courtyard for us for many years. We have a little bit of outdoor seating in the past, but really nothing that you could use. This will be a usable space with some outdoor seating. We're gonna keep as many of the trees as we can. Behind that bush over there, this hedge, we're gonna put a dog park, which will be larger. Those of you that have dogs will appreciate it. Those of you that don't, probably not. But it's a new dog park. It's shaded, should be great. It's a little bit larger than what we have. This wall here, behind it, will be a new generator that will supply power for the Preston building. All bells and whistles, every heating and air conditioning system. So if we ever lose power again, like back in, when was it, 22? When, 21? I can't remember. It's all the years are running together, but it was terrible. We didn't lose power, but had we would have been like everybody else. And this generator will not allow that to occur. So it will provide heat and air conditioning. If it happens in the summertime and we lose power, we will have air conditioning, we will have lighting, every function, every medical device, everything in our buildings will be completely supported for up to 7 days runtime. And so it has what's called a biofuel kit on it. It is the plan for this campus, all of the generators combined, no senior living community has anywhere. This will be, I think it's a great idea. So this is gonna be great for us, I think. We will have a monitor and a little fireplace out there that we'll probably never use. Fireplace, maybe, January? This is what the conservatory looks like. And it's beautiful. I don't know how we're gonna change those light bulbs, but this is second floor. This is where the art hall is now. So you can see it opens up into the conservatory. It's gonna be pretty cool. Coffee shop, this is what it looks like. So on the first floor, I'm sorry, this is second floor. But on the first floor, you can kind of see where this connecting hall is, and then you'll have access into the conservatory on the first floor. This is the second floor, so you're looking into the conservatory. And this is the new chapel that'll be on the second floor of the Preston. So what we're trying to do is kind of bring the Windsor and Preston together and connect it a little bit better. So if you're in A and B wing, you'll be able to connect to the Windsor building on the first, second, and third floors without going outside. We pick up a new library, which is going to be double the size of the current library. The current library becomes a music room. On the third floor, so this is the outside deck above the conservatory that will connect to Harris Bell Hall. And there'll be a new receiving space outside of Harris Bell Hall. Those storage closets back there in the back, those go away and become part of Harris Bell Hall. And then there is a corridor that wraps around Harris Bell Hall that has a ramp, 1 inch to 12 inches, 1 inch to a foot. There'll be a new storage area, a new multi-sport golf simulator right there in this location with some soft seating. Yes, multi-sports courts, pickleball. This is the new club room. I need to go back down here for a minute. Oh, no, I don't. Where is it at? Let me show you this space. I didn't talk about it much. So, on the first floor of Windsor, there is going, and this is ground floor, or the first floor of Preston. It's going to have the, so you have the conservatory here, you walk down this corridor, and there's another corridor that runs this way. This is where, there's public restrooms here. This is where the new theater is located. Also in that parking garage. And then as you walk down this way, there is a new game room right there with a bowling alley right here. And then there's a new day spa that gets built here. So our salon, you know how we have massage services and esthetician services? They fight over that one room. So this will provide us 2 rooms. So we'll be able to offer both, and we're going to keep the room that we have. But once this salon is built, the current salon will go away, and that space will be added to the fitness studio. Okay? Because the fitness studio, you've outgrown it just a little bit, which is great. All right, now I'll go back. So this is a club room rendering. You can see a lot of residents are asking me about billiards and ping pong. There will be a multi-function table, so you can flip it over. It's ping pong, you can have it billiards, those 2 options. There'll be some game tables as well. But this room overlooks the pickleball courts, the sport courts. This is multi-purpose. And this is the rendering of the sports courts. They'll be a little bit different because we're going to put some different lines on it for other games. And we'll be using sound mitigation flooring, sound mitigation equipment, and we won't let people play after 9 o'clock. Is that fair? Okay. And this Austin skyline, that's not really what you see. But I thought it looked nice. And so this is sound mitigating board. That can be, you can put any mural on it you want. If you have a better idea and you want blue bonnets, let me know, but I thought the Austin skyline would work pretty well there. This is a real game room. So how many of you could take your great grandkids here to have some fun? Anybody? I would, yeah. So anyway, that's what that's about. Maybe it's silly. What?
Where are the jukeboxes?
There is going to be a jukebox in this room. They don't have it on this rendering, but it will be in this room. So all of this is about intergenerational programming. Do you know any senior living communities that have this stuff? Mm-mm. It's really about positioning Westminster for the next 50 years. And I know that like some of you aren't really excited about this game room, but what I'm trying to do is build something that you can have fun with. Residents together, residents and friends and neighbors getting together and having fun in these spaces. And also a place for you to have fun with your families and do stuff with your families. I'm sure that your grandkids, your great-grandkids, your children love to visit you and just sit there in your apartment. And let's go visit with great-grandma. Grandma, it's good to see you. So this is going to give you some stuff to do with them. Have fun, right? Let's go to the bowling alley, or you go to the bowling alley and I'll rest. whatever. But just try, right? It's something that's kind of, it is trailblazing. Not many places are doing, not many places put a playscape in front of their building, but we have kids that are enjoying it. I'm not gonna talk about all this stuff. I'm about out of time. Any questions today about phase 4 or elevators or anything else? We're getting a lot of really cool things. I think I've mentioned this before. I have to tear up the Preston courtyard anyway, right? I have to do some stormwater drainage stuff to bring it up to code because I'm having to replace the roof that we replaced back in 2010 again. Because it's time. Useful life for a roof is about 20 years. So you gotta have a plan. When I do that work, when we do that work, we're gonna have to add more roof drains. And when we add the more roof drains, where are they gonna dump? Into the Preston courtyard. And so I don't want another Lake Westminster. I don't want 2 of them. It's bad enough having 1. We need to fix that drainage issue. There's lots of stuff that has to happen. What we're trying to do as a board and leadership is bring you some great amenities along the way. So yeah, we tear up this stuff, we tear up this courtyard, we're gonna build some really cool amenity spaces. So I hope you're looking forward to it as much as I am. I know the construction project itself is never fun, but when it's over, I think we'll have some really great amenities. And I'll shut up now. Questions? Yes, sir.
Chuck, you mentioned Ruth's office being, I guess, renovated or changed.
Ruth's office will be moved to
What
the
does
multi-purpose room location.
Yes, however,
Bless you.
the chapel is getting more and more people every week, particularly those who can't make it to church services in their churches. And every day during the week, there are multiple discussion groups. Several years ago, we had a discussion. I brought this to your attention that we need places for groups to meet as groups.
Yes.
Which often is 12 to 22 people now, some of the ones I'm in. And the chapel, as I say, we're going to be putting them outside pretty soon.
Yeah.
I don't hear anything about expanding that.
The chapel?
Yeah.
No.
I don't hear any of your
So,
plans.
the chapel and the ground floor of the Preston is not going to be expanded, but the new multi-purpose space seats up to 150 people. And so that's another great meeting space. The theater will seat up to 70 people, the new theater. We'll keep the current theater as well in the Preston building. And then we're adding another chapel that you can use for meeting spaces, the multi-purpose space, the music room you can have group meetings in, the private dining room that's now the game room. You'll have another game room. There's a lot of really cool meeting spaces that we'll have on this. We also have a speakeasy that's coming at the bottom of the Preston, the first floor of the Preston, on the Jackson Avenue side. So I think I can list all that for you, and I will create a list of all the meeting spaces that we'll have available after this. Not to mention the 2 new private dining rooms for the Preston dining room that you'll be able to have meeting spaces as well. And those seat about 18 to 20.
Well, I'm not a Presbyterian, but they did have something to do with this place, which is why it's called Westminster.
Right.
And I just hope that the chapel doesn't become so secularized that it's not a place.
It's still going to feel like a chapel. In fact, we're going to take the stained glass that's in the current chapel and reuse it in the new chapel. I've already told them to do that. So, yeah, definitely thinking along the same lines. Don't want to lose any of our history. No. Right.
Chuck, maybe I shouldn't ask this, but why is my apartment still blacked out? Are you moving me again?
No, ma'am. We're not doing anything with you.
Well, why is it blue on the map?
That's an old map.
Oh.
Good question. That's a good question. We're not touching you at all. I know better. Oh, it's an old map. Yes? Sorry, I can't, oh, yes.
That's okay. I have two questions. First of all, the generator in the Preston.
Yes.
Is it going to service the apartments so
Yes.
that we will actually have air conditioning if there's a blackout?
Yes.
Great.
That's correct.
Second-
And heat.
And heat, yes, occasionally if we need
Yes,
it.
if you ever need heat.
If we ever need
Yeah.
it, right. Second question, recently I was thrilled to see ironing boards and irons in the laundry room. A few days later, when I went to use them, the iron had disappeared. So I checked all the laundry rooms in the Preston building, and all the irons had disappeared from their holders on the wall. Did the management remove them for some reason, or is there some other reason?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay, well.
Who took them? Raise your hand.
Good question.
No, I'm just kidding. I don't know, I'll try to find out about that.
Okay,
I don't-
thank you,
yeah.
thank you.
That's terrible.
Did return it.
Huh?
Somebody borrowed it, did
Yeah,
return
maybe
it?
they forgot that they borrowed it.
Probably need to be marked well too.
Yeah. Probably need to be chained to the wall.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. If you'll steal decorative balls, I'm pretty sure you'll steal an iron. Or iron. Iron, got it.
Chuck, if I may ask, I'm delighted to have this view of the Preston courtyard, and I'm wondering if we're going to be able to keep our beautiful magnolia tree.
Yes, it's the biggest tree in Austin and it's staying. That's one of the reasons they built a fence around it. That's part of that making safe. They're protecting the magnolia tree, the oak tree. Yes, absolutely keeping the magnolia tree.
Great. I lived in an apartment in Washington DC that had a courtyard, and when it went condo, they thought they would protect the garage by cutting down the conifers in the courtyard. Well,
Yeah.
what happened was that the trees were absorbing the rains, and so then they had a flooded garage.
Yeah. I hate flooded garages. I hate flooded Lake Westminster too.
I was wanting to ask you, are we talking about the light bulb just right there? Right outside?
No, I'm not talking about it.
Okay,
We are removing that one.
that's what I thought.
And I'm sorry, I can't save every tree, but we did pay like $35,000 in fines and permitting to remove that tree that are being used for arbor projects around Austin, so that should make us feel better. We also planted that tree and all the trees in our courtyard. I have to, there's no place else to take the stormwater drain except through that area where the tree is. If I dig a ditch through that root system, that tree's gonna die anyway. And so unfortunately, we have to take it down. Okay, I'm sorry. And oh, we got one more? One time for one more, okay.
Our tech group is getting big, heavier and bigger. The room is needed.
Yeah.
Would there be meeting room or space available? We have over 6 helpers now, and we were all busy today.
Where are you doing it now?
The game room.
I think you could use the boardroom if you want to now, or the solarium. I mean, Ruth will arrange that, but I heard your tech group's getting a little unruly. And so, you know, if we let you use the boardroom, try not to tear it up. Take care of it. You know. But I think we can do that, and I think there'll be some great spaces. I didn't mention that in the library there's going to be a new tech help desk there, which I hope to staff, you know, a few times a week. So that'll be really handy too. But yeah, we can definitely help you with that. My pleasure. All right. Thank you all very much. Appreciate you. Have a great rest of your week.